Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
And welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray for our last segment here on Saturday, September the 23rd, the fourth Saturday in September. Actually, September's got 5 Saturdays in it, which is kind of a good lead-in. We'll talk just a minute about next week's show. The 5th Saturday, which means Charlie Covington will be here in the studio. Outdoors with Larry Ray's Poet Laureate. And, of course, my other brother, Daryl Gene Smith, will be in the studio with co-host. And Larry will be back from vacation, I'm pretty sure, with some exciting tales of what he ate on vacation.
A lot of seafood for Larry this past week.
And everything. So I don't know if you never know. Larry will get back today or tomorrow, and he might even have a bow hunting tale that he can tell since if he can get in his green tights, and pull his crossbow back, Larry might even get out and chase the elusive whitetail this week with the archery. And want to thank my co-host for the sticking with us for this week's show, Ron Wong.
Hey, always good to be here with you, Dave. And I just want to make sure that everybody remembers to practice good water safety.
Oh yes, and of course we still. Here in September, we still got a lot of fall fishing coming up. A lot still, before the fishermen and a lot of the recreational boaters, winterize their boats and put them away for the year. Of course, got John Gordon here sitting to my left here in the studio with Avery. And, we've talked a little ducks today. We've talked a little bass. We've talked crappie. We've talked Asian carp. But with the waterfowl seasons coming up, and like I was talking earlier, usually October, it's my month with guys I waterfowl hunt with. We're starting to get stuff together and looking at the blinds and stuff to see if we need to do any, repair work or anything. So I know Avery's big in waterfowl. The industry.
I wouldn't say, I mean, this is the 23rd year for Avery Outdoors.
Right.
It's always been a Memphis-based company. So we've, and we've always thought that was a great location. We're right here with Northeast Arkansas, West Tennessee, the North Mississippi Delta. So it really kind of put us in the heart of real, duck hunting country here. And, we're always constantly trying to, innovate new products. Something I really am excited about, Dave, that we've come out with this year, though, is a throwback product for Avery. It's called the Avery Heritage line, and it's a line of clothing and accessories, and it's something that we really are proud of. We've got it's the waxed cotton style clothing that waterfowlers used, from the turn of the century forward. Shed's water well is very warm. In the clothing line for the Heritage, we've got a field jacket, actually 2 field jackets. One's a field jacket, and the other was a wading jacket with a hood. And then we've got a vest. A lot of people like vests. It's got a fleece lining, nice and warm for your core area. And we've also got 2 sweaters, and I really like the sweater aspect of it. It's something that it's not a bulky, piece of clothing, but it's one that's really warm and really water resistant. So we've got all that, and then we've got gun cases, briefcases, blind bags, and everything in this Heritage line, which everybody can see here locally, by the way, at the Avery Outdoors Superstore right there near the office at 335 Cumberland Street.
Right.
So you can come on down and take a look. We've got all of that in stock now. Another exciting thing, something new for us in the Green Headgear decoy line, is we've got fully flocked floating decoys in the duck line, and this is something very new for us. We've got mallards, black ducks, pintails, and gadwall, And I tell you what, I mean, you're tempted really to not put them in the water. You want to put them on the shelf. I mean, they're that realistic, and they look that good. I mean, it's really awesome product.
And then talking about some of the products, and a lot of the folks younger than me that's come, waterfowl and stuff. You was talking about that heritage stuff. Really, they just take it for granted. It's just been, I won't say in the last 25 years that all the modern stuff has come out.
Right.
Back before that, it was that heritage line you was talking about, the heavy duck waxed, that clothing, especially the coats and stuff. I can remember the old brown duck coat, that.
Oh, I had one.
That I wore that always, kind of every so many years you want to kind of,
and the use of camouflage is new to waterfowling. I mean, like I said, for decades and decades, you just guys wore basic browns and greens out there in the field, and it still works. So we've really tried to bring it back, and that was their whole reason behind the name, heritage. I mean, it's the history of waterfowling. It's a real tip of the cap to the waterfowl hunters that have come before us, and really we're just carrying on the tradition.
And I know you're a big avid waterfowler like I am. Usually I have a 60-day season. I'm probably out there 45 of it at least, and I would say sometimes hunting, sometimes eating, sometimes just socializing. But
eating is good.
Eating is good, but I want to know, do you notice, because we usually start off the season with pretty good spread out there. And what I've noticed, in my years, as we start getting later in the season, it's hard to convince some of the guys to start pulling up some decoys, because I want to say the ducks that make it in the later part of the season kind of associate, I'll watch them fly, they don't want to come into a big group of decoys. They want to land wide and just kind of look. But you throw one or two, about 3 or 4 out there in a group, 3 or 4 over here in a group,
And that's really a lot of where that fully flocked decoy that I was just talking about comes in. You really, I like to use just smaller sets of ultra realistic decoys. It seems to be the way you finish ducks late. And you're right. The later it gets, they've seen it all. And like you said, I've killed plenty of ducks over as few as 2 decoys.
Right.
Because they can't believe after decoy spread they haven't seen anything but the normal 6, 8, 10 dozen the whole year, and then like I said, you just need to go. And another great tactic is to go more goose decoys. That's another thing the ducks don't see a whole lot of. Both Canada's and in this country specs will work equally as well to really give them a different look, and that's the whole thing. You're just trying to give them a different look from everybody else.
I keep kidding the guys I hunt with that I'm going to start bringing late in the season pink flamingos. That's the ultimate confidence decoy. Pink flamingos.
I know it's the ultimate confidence decoy, Dave, but it's a good one. I mean, anything you can throw them, like I said, that just looks different from everyone else.
And I know something that's going to be kind of a new opportunity here in West Tennessee, and I'm pretty sure Avery will probably have the full line. People in Tennessee over here in the west part of the state will be able to chase sandhill cranes this year.
I'm really excited about that. That's something I grew up doing in Texas down there, and I tell you what. Everybody talks about, their favorite waterfowl as far as eating goes. The teal, mallards, specks. I tell you what, nothing really holds a candle to the sandhill crane, and it's amazing if you've never had it. It doesn't taste like any other waterfowl.
It's the nickname was called it the ribeye of the sky.
That's it.
I've hunted them in Nebraska and out on the plains, in Texas, Nebraska. Never hunted them in Oklahoma, but and they're a challenge to hunt.
They are very wary,
very wary. I know I've had more success. You got to put your homework in, see where they're feeding everything, get permission, and just pass shooting them.
Me too. And especially once they get hunted just a little bit, they take so little pressure, and they start getting higher in the sky.
Right.
You've really they are a challenge.
Yeah.
It is really a great challenge.
It's kind of like the resident Canada goose, the early Canada goose season that we just had that closed. You see these resident geese everywhere. Well, it works for about one shot.
That's right.
And then
they get wise.
And then you've got to work for them. But I've got a friend of mine that owns a golf course, and this, usually during the first season, the geese will come in, and he will let certain people, harass them, hunt a little bit on the ponds out there. I said, yeah, put them in a golf cart. Geese are used to seeing golf. Just replace the 3-wood with a Model 12, and everything. But, well, guys, looks like we put another one on the books.
Yeah, that's right. Larry, wherever you are, on the coast.
Yeah, surely, hopefully Larry will come back, and the stations hasn't canceled the show. We didn't butcher it up too bad this week, and everything.
You did a great job, Dave.
But, I always say that when I'm hosting the show, they always play that disclaimer at the beginning of that the views and opinions and da-da-da-da-da. So, but want to thank you, Ron.
Thank you, and you guys have a great rest of the weekend. And by the way, about Monday or Tuesday, go out to lroutdoors.com. I am going as fast as I can to Greenville, Mississippi to cover the Crappie Masters National Championship. So there's going to be a bunch of crappie out there on lroutdoors.com.
Okay, and I want to thank John.
Thanks, Dave.
Always a pleasure to have you in the studios. Give us your store location again out there, people.
It's 335 Cumberland Street. We're right behind the Wiseacre Brewery.
So it's a unique location over there,
Well, it is. It's really changed a lot since I've been there with the whole Broad Street Art District and everything going on. So it's a lot nicer area.
Okay, well, Greg, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
For keeping us straight. And I've been, I guess, the captain for this week's show, Dave Gabbard. We want to wish everybody a good weekend out there. And as Larry always says, what does Larry always say? It never
doesn't cost a cent to be a good sport.
It never costs a cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.